My name is Damali Ssali, and I welcome you to this episode of the Ideation Corner. The Ideation Corner is a space where ideas are discussed and dissected. And today I host Sharon Tumusiime. Sharon is a serial entrepreneur and a logistics expert who is passionate about adding value to everyone she interacts with. She holds a Bachelor of Arts in Social Work and Administration from Makerere University. She holds a postgraduate diploma in management from the Ugandan Management Institute. And also, she is a graduate of the Synapse Entrepreneur Academy. But most importantly, Sharon is the co-founder of PALIT, which she co-founded in 2016. PALIT is a carpentry workshop that creates and designs work in furniture. PALIT uses organic Ugandan wood to create furniture for offices, homes, and on special projects. PALIT's objective is to provide durable, affordable, high-quality, trendy, fashionable, environmentally friendly furniture to all its clients. I am very happy to host Sharon on my Ideation Corner today. Sharon, you're very welcome, and thank you for speaking to me.
Thank you. Thank you for having me here today.
So having gone through your profile, I realized that you're a logistics expert. You know, you have a BA in social work. How did you move from that to now opening a carpentry workshop?
Okay, I know it's interesting where I've come from, but it came from a need actually. The carpentry workshop is not something I say that I dreamt of, making furniture one day in my life, but I had a need and I needed to make furniture at home. I needed to make a playhouse for my daughter. She was 5 at that time, yeah. And I needed it, but then I would have to rob a bank to buy it. It was pretty expensive, the ones that I had seen, the ones that are in the stores. So I went online and I Googled and saw playhouses that were made from pallets. I was working in a logistics company at that time. We were doing clearing and forwarding, and we had access to pallets at that time. You know, every container that comes, most of them come with a pallet. The luggage or the cargo is put on a pallet. So I had access to pallets, and I saw online, watched videos, then I got the idea, went to a carpenter and asked him to make me the playhouse that I had seen online. And at first he was a bit hesitant.
You already had the raw material?
Yes.
You just needed someone to put it together. You had your design in your mind?
I had my design in my head. I had how we can make it. So I went to him. He was a bit hesitant at first. He hadn't done anything like this before. I showed him the video. I was like, okay, fine, let's try it. And we tried it together. And we made a playhouse. Wow. Yes. And he was actually impressed. He was like, wow, it has actually come out. I was like, you see, it's possible. And from then on, like they say, the rest is history. You know, somebody, a workmate of mine who is now my partner in the business, had access to expatriate community. There were many people that needed furniture, turns out, from pallets, because this DIY trend was already big in their community. And we started getting orders.
Based on your initial thing that you did for your daughter?
Based on that one picture. Yes. Okay. We're like, oh, we've been looking for someone that can do something like that. So that's how, he would get an order, and I would follow up on the order, and then we deliver.
So you were in the middle. You weren't necessarily doing the furniture yourself. You were the middle person.
I was the one who was connecting
the customer to the...
Exactly, to the carpenter. So I was sorting out that challenge that people have with the carpenters, where they don't want to go through the hassle and coordinate with him, haggle and do all those things, follow up. So we were sort of in the middle of that.
Actually, I'm quite surprised about your first experience with this carpenter, because it's not people's experience with carpenters.
Yes.
What I know of carpenters, you go with your wonderful idea, you know exactly what you want, you tell them I want this, then they'll ask you for the advance payment, which you do. They'll tell you they'll deliver it in maybe 2 weeks or 3 weeks, whatever time they tell you. They'll never deliver it in that time. You end up having to call them and chase them and follow up a lot. And that's why in a way people step away from dealing with carpenters.
Definitely, that's a challenge that everybody faces. And but for me, with this gentleman, I had to see him every day. But the good thing, he was very near my workplace. So at lunchtime, I would leave office for my lunch break and go to him and sit and see where he has reached, how far, what are you doing? Okay, here doesn't look the way it's going to come out, change it here. So I sort of went through the whole process with him. I didn't physically cut what needed to be cut, but I did sit with him through the whole idea and finally generation of the concept and then delivering the final product. So I went through the whole process with him. All I needed were his tools and his hands to cut, but I can say majority of the work in terms of idea was from me, really. Yes. So that is the part that people did not want to get into.
Yes.
So they would come and explain to me, then I'm the one that does that whole, runabout, chasing a guy, following up. Yes, so that was the need that I was meeting at that time. So we realized that there are many people that want furniture. They want good, natural, wood-made furniture, but nobody wants that hassle. So
and that's when the idea of setting up a company that deals with that middle part.
Yes, that middle part, yes, comes in. Yes, be able to deliver people what they want at an affordable price, not cheap, affordable, and then cut out that hassle. Yes, so now at least they have someone they can talk to, and most of the carpenters, English is not their strength. Most of our good carpenters, it's Uganda, and it's also a challenge anyway in its own way. So
what kind of products is PALIT delivering, or have you delivered in the past?
Oh, we deliver really all furniture, by the way. Furniture that is for homes, anybody that needs a single piece in the homes. Dining tables, chairs, beds, outdoor furniture, garden furniture, picnic tables, name it. Whatever it is you use in the home, decorative pieces, shelves, we will deliver all those. Then we also deal a lot with the hospitality industry. Airbnbs, hotels, lodges, we make furniture for those. Apartments, people that want to furnish apartments. Instead of importing the furniture, we can furnish a whole apartment. So we've had an opportunity to furnish a couple of apartments, furnished apartments, with their chairs, their tables, everything that their customers need when they come into a furnished space.
So if I saw an authentic, an antique piece online, and I wanted it replicated in, here using Ugandan organic wood, how would I get it to you? Do I have to physically call you and talk to you? How does your customer connect with you?
Okay, our customers can physically come to us. Our workshop is in Makindye along Lukuli Road. It's really along the road. It's very easy to spot. However, because people don't have time to come all the way to Makindye, you can get us on WhatsApp. Most of actually my clients' conversations happen on WhatsApp. It's not even a phone call, it's on WhatsApp. So we chat, you show me the pictures, we discuss dimension, unless it's something out of this world that we have to come and measure. But usually most spaces, the sizes are pretty much the same. Yes, so we will discuss everything on WhatsApp, you show me your picture, and we make the furniture. We agree on the price, send you the quotation, and we start the process. So via WhatsApp is the easiest space for people these days.
Okay.
Yes, so on our numbers on WhatsApp, 0772 683388. We have a chat, you show me what you want. Most of my clients, we have concluded everything on WhatsApp.
That's interesting. WhatsApp has been the channel now of business.
Yes.
So and during these COVID times, because I keep thinking about how COVID has affected businesses in the lockdowns and who knows how long it will even affect. How has that had an impact on your business? Of
course, like every other business, our business has also been affected by COVID. However, we had the opportunity to rethink and re-strategize and say, how is it that we can meet our customers' need even during this time? Is there something we can do for our customers that can still give us money, but as well as help them? And we realized everybody is working from home. I was suddenly working from home. Everybody was suddenly working from home. And our kids were studying at home now. Yes, so what is the one thing that everybody needed at that time? Desks and chairs.
Yeah, work table.
Yes,
actually,
because no one ever planned to. I mean, usually you do your homework on the dining table or your office work at the dining table. There are few people that have, a
proper
work table.
Workstations.
Yes, there are very few. So that was a need. So we started to advertise work tables or school desks on social media, and we got many orders.
Oh, so
yes.
this worked for you?
Yes, so it worked for us. So we had a new product out there, something we had never really thought about, and suddenly now there were tables, because remember all the stores were locked. Where people usually get furniture was closed. The furniture stores were closed. However, we were lucky. The president allowed workshops to stay open.
Yeah, that was
yes, he allowed workshops to stay open if you could move everybody and keep everybody on site. We had that opportunity.
So did you do that?
Yes, we moved our workers and hired a place for them very near, 5-minute walk to the workshop. And so we were lucky we could continue doing it. There was a challenge, of course, with timber, because the timber outlets were closed. However, we made do with what was available. What you could get is what you could work with. Yeah, so we had products.
I'm glad that you created a new niche, because I feel like even now in COVID, people now realize actually we can work from home. Even we don't know when it will end, but we can continue to work from home. So probably people are going to continue asking for workstations.
Yes, workstations.
Where kids can play at.
Kids can play, because most of the dining tables are bad for the kids' backs. The dining table is a bit higher, the table, so it really affects. We had many parents saying, my daughter has a back problem, but it's because of the sitting space, the workspace that we were using. Even adults are struggling with working on some of these dinings and whatnot.
Yes, I did struggle with that, because I'm working on my dining table, and over time, eventually using the dining table chair. And over time, I realized it's actually affecting me.
It affects you.
Eventually, I had to change the chair.
So you see, you're now a customer.
You
need to order. You need to order one. Yes, so that was what we did during the lockdown. Mainly, we were working on delivering workstations and school.
So someone can also send you like the kind of workstation they want?
Yes. There was that option. So we designed a quick, easy desk, which can be delivered in the shortest time. Because remember, we are making everything from scratch. So we had to get a very simple design that's nothing too complicated, that we can make within the shortest time, within 3 days, 3-4 days, and you have a desk. Yes, then those who had something fancier, we would of course give them the usual timelines. If it was a bit, more fancy and had a bit more things, yes. So those who wanted customized, we did. Those who wanted whatever you have, we can do, then we delivered those.
It depended on the customer.
Yes, it depended on the customer.
And you said you advertise on social media. So what, are you on Facebook?
We're on Facebook and Instagram, PALIT Uganda.
Okay.
Yes.
That's where to find you. If I want to know about PALIT products, Instagram.
What we've made, if you like to see what we've made previously, you go there. If you have an inquiry, you'll find our numbers there. Somebody will respond to your inquiry. Yes, on our social media platforms. Yes.
I was interested reading the brochure of PALIT, where you mentioned, it is mentioned that you're environmentally friendly. You try to use environmentally friendly products, but by nature, your industry, you have to cut down a tree to actually get the Ugandan products. What are you doing about that to address it?
Yes, it's really also a concern for us. We know that our business takes away from the environment in such a big way. So what we do, we try to work with certified loggers, the people that sell us. We make sure that they're certified, because those ones are working within the government regulations. So that is what we do. We're like, let's work with somebody that is being regulated by the government. He's not rampantly, depleting the environment. He's probably aware and more sensitive and careful about what he's doing. So that's one way we try. Another way that we really try is by recycling. We like to recycle a lot. So if you have a dining table, for example, and you say, I need another one, I hate this one, I'm tired of it, it's boring, we would come and see it and see if we can probably change it up a bit, change the color, as opposed to having to make you a whole new one. Because having a whole new one, we are now having to go, someone will have to cut some more timber to meet that need. So we try and work with what you have. If you say, I hate my bed, we try and see what we can do with the furniture that you have, recycle it, upscale it, upstyle it, and try and add a bit of things so that you have something new, but we've not had to make a whole new thing. Yes, so that's another way. So we recycle. That's why a lot of our work is pallets. Because pallets are, you're recycling.
They're not just being dumped.
They're not being dumped or used to make, as firewood, but we are actually using it to make furniture that people can use. And it's even more affordable when you use a pallet. It's actually more affordable.
Because they're cheaper. They're
cheaper.
It's a sunk cost for the logistics industry.
That person has already bought them. Okay, you would pay for them, yes, but it's definitely cheaper than what you'd pay if I was to buy, a panel of wood to make you something. So it's cheaper. It's also stylish. It's also trendy. They look really good.
They do.
Yes.
Because I was saying, especially the hospitality industry, I feel like they're using them a lot as tables and chairs.
Yes, and there's not too much work that goes into it. So you'd probably have it a lot faster than someone that has, raw wood, and we have to start the process from scratch. Because this one has probably already gone through the factory. It's smooth. It's easier to work with already at this point. So you probably have it a lot faster, and it's cheaper, and it looks good.
It does, actually.
It looks really good.
So, I try not to ask this question quite a lot, but being a female in this industry, which is very complicated, actually, I feel like a lot of females, because we're always usually responsible, we're the ones who the designing of houses and offices, but that engagement with the carpentry industry is so stressful. So we tend to go, I personally would just tend to go to a supermarket, buy the stuff, it's there, it's delivered, it's done.
Yeah.
It's easier for me than to go through the stress of engaging a carpenter.
Yeah.
Even if I want to actually buy Ugandan furniture, the stress of going through that
process. Yeah.
So how are you in this space, in this industry that is very unregulated, a bit disorganized, very difficult to engage with? How do you find that?
Yeah, that's a very interesting question. I wish someone had asked me before I started the business. I had never really thought about it like that until the more I interacted. But it's never been something that's on my radar. I'm never really aware about that fact that there are many men in here, because I'm just doing a service. So it's been relatively easy to navigate it. Honestly, I can't say it's been tough, because these guys that we work with just want money. For that sector doesn't care. It doesn't care whether you're a man or a woman. Are you paying me?
Okay.
Yes. So that's why it hasn't been as hard as maybe in the corporate, where you're all probably fighting and in some other industries, because they just want money. They just want to put food on the table. They just want to pay their workers. So whether it's a man or a woman, if you don't understand what they're doing, they will rip you off, whether you're a man or a woman.
So they rip off everybody.
They will,
you shouldn't feel like they rip off the women.
No. If you don't know your product, whether you're a man or a woman, they'll probably do the same thing to you. If you know what you're talking about and you're a woman, they will respect you and they will attend to you the way you would like to. Yes. So that's the beauty of it. So that's how I've managed to navigate. There's been a lot of learning, of course. I came into a space that I had no clue about. So I've been burnt, I've made mistakes, I've been sold, fake stuff as well. But now I'm learning, so I know now. I know better, yes. And once they realize that you know what you're talking about, then they start to respect you. They see you as, that this person knows, we shall not do what we usually do to them. Okay. Yes, yeah. I guess because I did not go in aware that this is a manual, be ready for them.
It wasn't on the top of your
No, it
head.
wasn't at the top of my head. It was just, you need to deliver products, you have a customer, you now have a business, get what you need to get. Yes, and then I was ready to learn as well. And they like it. Some of these people, when you go to the carpenters and say, okay, I don't understand how you do this, they appreciate that. Yes, they're very respectful people.
When you were speaking to me earlier, you mentioned that a lot of the people in this space, in the carpentry business, they're informal people. They they just do their craft. They don't have the business side of things.
Yeah.
And in a way, that's what you're trying to bring into the space, where you connect the artist to the client without the client having to be in the middle.
Yes.
So what would you advise is someone, a young kid who wants to get into this space, and what would you advise them to do? Maybe they're going for a vocational study in carpentry. What would you advise them?
Okay, that's a good one. I would advise them to understand the business. I didn't have the opportunity. I was just thrown in and started swimming. But understand the business. Try and understand as much as you can. And don't only learn your technical side. Try and learn the business side. Most technical people struggle in a business because they know their technical thing properly, but they've not had the business management area. So try and understand both. If you decide, do I want to be a technical guy or do I want to run a business? If you want to run a business, then get ready to work with other people. They know that I am running the business, I can't really do all the technical. I need to hire technical people or get ready to work with the technical people. So I did not know the technical. I know how to manage a business. I have worked in a private organization that was really a business anyway. So I used that. That is what I am good at, and that's what I'm bringing to the table in the business. So I'm hiring carpenters. They do what they're good at. I do what I'm good at, so that they don't. So know what you're good at. Know what part you want to get into in this industry. What do you want to come in as?
Okay.
Are
And
you
then
the business owner, or you want to
Be
make
the
furniture? Yes.
Okay.
In which case, then find a space where you can sell your stuff.
Because they
For
could actually
example.
become
Yes.
suppliers.
You
to
can just
people
become
like
a supplier
you guys
like
who
me.
already
Yes, choose to partner with me and say, you know what, I don't want to see customers. Me, I'll make for you and bring for you. And that works very well.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, so I feel like there's quite a bit of then reorganization that has to happen in the industry. I know it employs a lot of people.
Very many,
I grew up
yeah.
at Makere Kavule, and from Kubiri, almost 1 kilometer is just
Yeah.
furniture. A lot of people are employed in there. They are feeding their families there.
Yes.
But also a lot of people who may buy furniture stay away from them because of the complications
Yes,
with that.
yeah.
So what organization do you feel has to happen within that industry? Because it's a huge industry, actually.
Yeah. One, I think the people that sell furniture are a good space to start using those people as their suppliers, as opposed to importing all the furniture that they make. That's a huge opportunity. To just get them to be your suppliers.
So you're talking about maybe the
furniture
supermarkets
sellers,
and any
yes.
furniture seller like
yes,
yourself.
give them
also.
an opportunity, yes. start to buy from them whatever it is that your customers buy. Start to use that. You're probably going to spend a lot less and make the same margins. Yes, that's a good space for you to tap in, and that way they're learning to be professional. They're learning to interact with an organization that does something like this. So I think that's a good space. That's a good way to start the reorganization process. Then the government has a lot to do as well. They've started, yes, there's the importation. They are saying everyone must use Buy Uganda, Build Uganda. Yes. Those are good steps in the right direction. But there's a lot more that goes into there. For example, our capacity. Carpentry is a very capital intensive business. All the machines are expensive. There's nothing that is cheap. So we also need a lot of support in that area. That's another space government can plug in, support people in that area in terms of capital, access to capital for some of these things, grants for these organizations, as opposed to just giving a whole area one machine. But those organizations that have prepared themselves and are ready, that is one way to incentivize them. If you have everything of yours ready and you're running a workshop and you show us how many people you have, give them access to financing. That is one of the biggest challenges. That's why we can't grow. Most of these companies, these workshops stay informal. That's why you find that they rip off customers because of the challenge of capital. It's a very capital intensive business.
Yeah, because you see, there's some workshops I've seen, you drive by, because they're sometimes on the road, and year after year, 10 years down the line, it's the same exact. It hasn't moved to the next level.
And the fact that it supports so many people, so many families live off, it's a good space for the government to tap into. There's a lot more that they can do. Even the vocational institutes, I don't know how much more they are supporting them, but they look like they're not supporting them as much as they need. If government would come out and support vocational and not make it look like it's for those that have failed to make it to the university. Push it and say, you know what, vocational is the way to go.
You are earning a lot of money in a vocation you never actually
I never even studied it. So imagine those that have studied it, how much more they can do. So it's also a nice space. So I think the government can do a lot to reorganize carpentry itself as an industry. It's one of the oldest. I mean, Jesus' father was a carpenter. Yes, that's true. yes, and they have the ability to professionalize the industry just like every other.
So, but elaborate on this Buy Uganda, Build Uganda. Hasn't that therefore helped that policy? Because now I know that all the government agencies are required to buy furniture local; they can't import it in. Has that helped, or do you feel it's going to really help the industry to get now jobs?
It could, but then there's so many barriers. The process to just get your bid in there, most of the carpenters will not make the cut at the first stage. So much as they're saying it, they need to find a way to make it a bit different for them. Understand where they are, what sort of structures are they set up. They have the capacity to get together and deliver the furniture that, say, a government agency needs. But if you say you need, that documentation, the process someone goes through when they're bidding for a government contract. But they need to make it flexible for even the SME or the carpentry workshop to be able to bid for something like this. So don't be so, what can I call it? Don't make it so hard for them to do it. Yes, and say we've given you the opportunity. How many can even afford it? Yes. Yes, because how much does the contract cost? Do they have this money?
Do they have can they meet the minimum requirements?
Just the minimum requirement. Yes. Do they? I mean, is there access for them to get credit, for example?
And then maybe if it's a small order, maybe the minimum requirements can be made less.
Made less, yes.
So the hurdles are not so many.
So it's not enough to just say, you know what, we have said every government agency must order boo-boo. Who is this person at the bottom of this whole boo-boo program? It's a small carpentry. Otherwise, at the same end of the day, it's still the same companies that will take them, and that guy will lose out.
And then the sector stays informal.
It will stay informal. Yes.
Interesting. So what plans? What future plans do you have for PALIT in the next 3 to 5 years?
There are many. We want to expand our capacity, of course. Definitely, we want to expand. We would like to go more and do a lot for the community by setting up a vocational space for people to come and learn, the community in which we are, to come and learn.
That's the Makindia community.
Yes, the Makindia community, yes. Or whichever community we decide to get into, such that the people that are in that community will benefit from the business being present. So if there are young people in there, they can come and study carpentry in there, and then have an ability where we have like an incubator program where they will study. So we want to grow big on vocation, the vocational thing. It's a space that we want to go. We want to have many partnerships with the smaller carpentries, which do not have access to the market.
Right, okay.
Yes, which are doing a good job, but they're sort of, because they don't have access to the market, people don't know them.
People don't want to even interact.
People don't want to even interact
because it's
with
too
them.
Stressful.
Yes,
okay.
So we want to have a program where we can get a lot of their products and be able to sell them for them. So we want to put an online platform where they can sell whatever it is that they have through us. Yes, for example, yeah. So we have some good plans. We want to go big on the tree planting initiative.
Oh,
yes, we would like to push it and see that the carpentry industry is not only taking away, but we have something that's going on so that everybody is aware that what we are doing depletes, but that doesn't have to be the end of it. There's something we can do. We have to be responsible in that regard. So it's a lot of the vocation, a lot of how to bring in more of the smaller workshops, because we've been a small workshop. So we know the challenges.
You know the issues.
We know the issues. So how do we support them? We don't want to be that business that is also socially aware and relevant as well. Yes. Yeah.
I like the idea of the tree planting actually,
Yeah.
because of course I like the environment quite a lot, but then I also like really good furniture. So I'm always in that space struggling. I want an organic piece, but it will mean that a tree is cut down for me to have that piece.
Yeah.
And then I wonder, should I really have that, that piece that, with organic furniture? So I like the idea that you're trying to do the tree planting to replace the thing. Is that something that you ideally would be encouraging your industry to actually do?
Yes, I really hope I can.
I
don't have all the details, but I know that it's a good thing. It would do really good for us, because many of the species are suddenly getting depleted because
there's some tree species that are
yes, because this has not been actively done. Of course, the Forestry Authority is trying, but the biggest players are not involved. It's more in the corporate space. That's where this conversation is happening. But how about if we involve the actual guys that are, and we tell them, your livelihood is being threatened, because if you don't have any more,
if there are no more trees, there will be no more carpentry.
Exactly. Yes. So it has to come from that point. Who is the end user? That is the person who has the ability to affect. Get more loggers on board. The people in the lumber industry, get more of them on board and to sign up. Okay. So I don't have the details, honestly, but that is something that's a dream that I have. Yes, because many of the international companies that make furniture, in Thailand or wherever, they have this that is running.
Yeah,
yes,
it's
running side by side. Yes,
they cut down, whether they replant.
They replant.
Cut and replant.
Yes.
That way the environment is not negatively impacted.
Yes, so that all those who are replanting are not only replanting, to as an investment. Most of the people that are doing tree planting now, it's for investment purposes. For my future, I'm investing in something as opposed to really the environment.
Okay.
Yes.
Sharon, thank you so much for speaking to me. Do you have any last words, anything you would like to, say before we end?
Yes, I would. I would like to speak to someone that would like to start a business. I'm passionate about business people. I have gone through, I'm on the business journey myself. I have had many challenges, so I'd like to just speak to somebody out there that would like to start a business. It might not be carpentry, but would like to start a business, that has an idea and would like to implement that idea. I would like to encourage them to go ahead and start that idea, to think through what they need to think through, but don't be scared to start. Yes, we all start at some point. Don't be too scared to start, such that you get paralyzed. Don't overanalyze, and you get what they call it, analysis paralysis.
Yes.
Exactly. But start that business. If you realize that there's a need that you can meet, do go ahead. I would encourage you to go ahead. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. We all make mistakes, but we learn from those mistakes. And there's a lot of space for you to learn. And everybody fails at some point. Everybody fails at something. So don't be afraid. Don't let the fear hold you back. Start where you are. Start your business. Whatever it is, however small, start at some point. And what do we call it? Navigating from point to point. Exactly. Yes. And then find a support group. I'm in BNI, Business Network International. I always speak about it, but it has been my support group as a business person.
What is BNI?
BNI is Business Network International. It's a referral networking organization. We intentionally refer each other for business. So you find people that have been in business for 20 years, So if you're a new person in business, there's somebody to encourage you, to give you advice for free.
Who can even tell you what to avoid?
Yes, what to avoid. They can tell you, okay, this has happened, but it happened to me as well.
It's okay.
Someone to go along. So that support network is very important. But please go ahead and start that business idea. That's what I would like to leave with somebody out there. I don't know who it is, but just to encourage them. Yes. And thank you very much for the opportunity.
Okay, great.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, there you've had it from Sharon. Please, if you want any organic Ugandan furniture that is custom made, trendy and fashionable, environmentally friendly, please do look for her, PALIT, on any social media networks. And if you're someone who wants to start a business, who has a business idea, who needs a mentor, please, again, she's ready to offer her services. Thank you so much for watching this episode of the Ideation Corner.